Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. I'm back here at Ford of Port Richey, Florida, checking out this brand new, redesigned, refreshed 2022 Ford Expedition. This is the XLT trim. Today I'm going to take you on the tour of it. Before we do that, guys, check out the rest of my channel. Consider subscribing. Hit that subscribe button. Help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers before the end of this year. Now let's get back to this vehicle. Well, the Expedition is not new. It's been built for quite a while, and it is the largest SUV that Ford makes currently. Now, it is now, but it hasn't been always like this. Ford also had the Excursion, which was bigger. It was actually built on the F-250 platform. But let's check this out, because this model has been redesigned for the 2022 model year. So let's start right here at the hood portion of it. As you can see, the hood is nicely sculpted. It has two bulges on the side, this indentation in the middle of here. It looks really nice. And check it out, the lights are completely new for 2022. It has this C-shape, basically kind of daytime running lights that go around here. And then the headlight unit, this is this narrow unit right here. They're all LED lights. It does have the turn signals right in the inside portion of it, and then they're kind of encased in this polished aluminum trim. Looks really good. The trim connects both of the headlights unit, and it does have this blue oval with the Ford trim, of course, a huge logo right here. The rest of this grille, you know, we have this matte gray right there that continues a little bit towards the bottom, and then at the very bottom of here you have the shiny gray color over here as well. Now you also have the recovery hooks, and as you can see, the ground clearance is pretty big. I mean, so this can be a vehicle that can be taken basically anywhere, well, with the exception of like the real off-road trails, right? On the sides over here, which you see is two trim pieces. This is actually a functional air curtain for allowing maximum air to pass through, better aerodynamics, a little bit more of a cooling off the brakes. There's no fog lights on this XLT trim, and let's check it out. Let's check out what powers up this thing. I can see the hood struts on both sides, which is already a good thing. This huge hood right here, it has some sound insulation right there. And then if you look underneath here, there is some room there, and that's because this is not a V8. Now, a lot of people think that those big SUVs have to have a V8. Now, Ford decided that they're gonna stick with the 3.5-liter V6 engine. Now, this engine produces quite a bit of horsepower because it produces 400 horsepower, 480 pound-feet of torque, and it's made it to Ford's 10-speed automatic transmission. Now, what's good about this setup is that it does have actually a better gas mileage than the V8 competitors. So it does have 18 combined, 16 in the city, 21 on the expressway with this 4x4 setup. Now, it's also available with a more powerful engine that's about 440 horsepower if you opt in for that stealth performance package, but that's a completely other story. Because it's huge, it's massive, you can't hide it. 221 inches long. That's how long it is. It's about 6 inches longer than the Wagoneer. It's about 5 inches shorter than the extended version of the Cadillac Escalade. Now, keep in mind, this is the Max version, so this is already an extended version of the Expedition. This is also an XLT trim, which means that this is a second one from the bottom. It starts with the XL, then XLT, and then you have several trims above that, like the Limited, Timberline, Platinum, King Ranch. So there's several different trim levels that you can choose from. Now, if you look at this vehicle right here, definitely a huge vehicle. One thing, 20-inch rims. Standard rims on this one. There's nothing too crazy about those wheels, and they're actually dressed up with this 275/55 tires. They're kind of knobby. I didn't see any upgrade on the sticker out, so I would say these are the standard tires that come with it. One also very strange feature, which majority of the vehicles, you can see the turn signals that are built into the mirror, and there's none in here. So it doesn't have the turn signals in the mirror. It does have the blind spot assist, and on this trim you have a fixed running board. Now if you opt in for the higher end trims, you can have the deployable running boards that are available as well. Now, this one is equipped with this consumer preferred package that includes the entry system, the smart entry system, which allows you to get inside of this vehicle without actually touching any buttons on the key. As long as you have the key on you, you can actually lock or unlock the vehicle. And this is on all 4 doors and the gate. And huge windows, right? These are all tinted, so you can't barely see it. Huge windows. You can see all 3 rows should have enough roominess, and this should have enough light coming into this vehicle. Well, this is it on the side of it. Let's move to the back. Check it out, guys. This is definitely huge. I'm 6 feet tall. This is towering over me, so definitely a nice size vehicle. And if you look at the back of it, it's nothing too crazy about it, but I want to point out a few things. If you look at this taillight unit on the higher trim levels, you're going to get the LED setup. This is all incandescent. It does have, of course, the taillights. It does have the brake lights. It does have the turn signals in here. And what I like about this is the same kind of trim like we've seen in the front that connects both of the taillights, that connects both of the headlights in front, and that's kind of in this matte gray. Now, it does have that shiny Expedition that's spelled out on blue Ford oval right here, and then this huge gate. The gate opens in 2 pieces. We're going to get back to it in just a second. XLT on one side and Max on the other side. You have the reflector lights. You have no visible exhaust on either side, and then you have the tow hook. Now the tow hitch, worry nothing if you have bigger toys, because it can tow up to 9,300 pounds. Now the gate opens up 2 ways. You can open just the glass right here, which is a pretty cool feature. And that's if you're in the tight spot, you want to just throw something in here, or you want to grab something in here. Now, you have to be pretty tall to actually reach all the way down, but that's available to you. Or you can open the rest of this gate. Of course, it does have the rear view camera, and the rear view camera does have this washer right next to it. So this is an important thing. And then, of course, you can open this from your remote as well by clicking twice on the gate. I think I started it because I clicked the wrong button. There you go. So it does have the remote start as well. And of course you can open up this rear gate, and look at this. This is how much room we have. Let's check it out, guys. If you have a large family, worry nothing. There's plenty of room for luggage, even though if you have all the 3 rows seats up. Now, there's plenty of room right in back here. And if you open this up, you have an additional storage right underneath here. And then you have tools to remove your wheel. And what else do we have in the back here? You have a bunch of buttons. Now, these buttons are pretty cool because you can fold down your seats for the 3rd row and the 2nd row. Now, let's do that. Let's hold. You can either do one individually, or you can do both of them at the same time. And once you hit that, it takes a little bit to fold them down, but you know, they're so far ahead that you wouldn't be able to probably push them forward if you're not very tall. So let's see what we have in the 3rd row seat right there. I can already see that it does have the USB ports. You have the cup holders right there. You have your own reading lights up top, and then you have your own vents, which is super important, especially if you're on the long trips. You want to make sure people are comfortable. You can also fold down the 2nd row seat individually, and this is how much room you have. What's interesting, that if you wanted to control the 3rd row seat, you can also lift up and recline back, power, and the 2nd row seat, you actually have to get inside of it and do it yourself, which is not a huge deal. Well, I'm in the 2nd row seat, and I gotta tell you, I have plenty of room. Now, the seat is adjusted to my regular driving position. I'm 6 feet tall. I have plenty of knee room. As a matter of fact, I have so much room that if I wanted to be nice to the passenger in the back of me, I can move it up just about here and still have several inches in front of my knees, that leaving more room for the passenger in the back. Now there's plenty of shoulder room, there's plenty of headroom. And let's get to the door panel right here. Let's check it out. So there's a lot of different elements that are going in on this door panel itself. Well, a couple of things I want to point out. I want to point out that there's a lot of touch points right here that are actually this hard plastic material. And I know this is a base trim, and I haven't done the platinum or the limited, but I hope they are a little bit better quality or a little bit softer plastic. Now there's a lot of storage in these doors, right? So you have a lot of storage. You have a cup holder. There's right here. You have your basically you have your door handle right there. You have your window controls. You have another storage which could be used, I guess, for your phone maybe, and then you have plenty of storage at the bottom of the door. Now speakers, these are not branded. Some of the higher trims have some Bang & Olufsen stereos that are available on here. So let's check out the rest of it. If you get inside of this vehicle, so you can see, first of all, the third row seat looks very nice and comfortable. I'm going to jump inside of it just to make sure and test it out in just a little bit. And then the seats are nicely, this is this Active X material, I believe that's what they call it, but they're nice, they're comfortable. The seats are very nice. They have their own armrest, so they're comfortable. And then the middle console, look at the size of this console right here. So you have your charging points, right? You know, charge your phones, you have the USB or USB-C. You put it, if that's not what your phone is using, you can use your regular household outlet. And then you have your fan control, you have your temperature control for the second and third row seats. Now, if that wasn't enough, you have more storage right underneath here, and you have a regular cigarette lighter style charger at the bottom. Plenty of room. Let's get in the third row seat. You can do it several different ways, but there's such a big pass-through right in here that you don't even have to fall down those seats. Of course, you can if you wanted to. See, those seats move forward nicely, and there's plenty of room for you to get in or out. But, you know, if you wanted to do it in the middle, that's fine too. So I'm gonna get behind one of those seats, lift this up, and check it out. Gotta tell you, definitely two people can fit in comfortably. It is a 2, 2, and 3, so it is a 7-seater configuration. But the third person, unless it's a small child, might have a little bit of problem in here. And the lights, the windows, plenty of it. Reading lights, kind of like on the airplane. And you do have your own vents. I gotta tell you, I'm melting already, so I'm glad that this AC is blowing nice and cool. And also, like I mentioned before, there's buttons in here, so you can move this seat. Well, this is for your recliner. Oh, I thought this was moving the front seat, but I guess not. This is for the recliner for the third row seat. But if you want to move this up, there you go. I'm ready to go. Let's see how this door opens and closes. Big door, heavy, nice solid thumb. Front door obviously the same as the rear door. I apologize, but the vehicle is running because it's so hot outside. I just want to point out 3 memory seats, okay, and then you have your window mirror controls right here as well. Now this is interesting. Which skyline is that? Is it Detroit or is it Kentucky? Because I know it's made in Kentucky, but it's also, there's also a Timberline right here, and there's a little Expedition. So I guess it tells you, hey, you can go through the urban jungle, and then you can go to the regular off-road as well. So let's check this out. What do we have on the side? Now you have the light controls, basically, right in here. And then you have the dimmer for the lights inside. You can fold down the rear headrest, important, and then you can open your rear gate in here. And for the shorter people, the pedals are adjustable, so they're moving forward and backwards, so you're comfortable when you're driving. And the steering wheel, of course, it does have a power tilt and telescoping, which is a nice feature even on this fairly base model, if you will. Well, check out the seating. Okay, the same leather-like material, electric control on the seats. And then this thing is huge. Let's jump inside. Let's see what else is here. Check out the interior on this 2022 Expedition XLT. it is large, definitely large. There's tons of room. Now let's do a quick overview of here. Now, this one doesn't have a head-up display, and this is a hard plastic. I wish it was kind of a softer touch plastic. It does have a little bit of a trim right here. That's this leather-like looking with some of the contrast stitching, and that's basically softer touch. And does have the two glove boxes, one on the top right here, and then one at the bottom, which is, you know, obviously a lot deeper. And then you have your regular 12-volt outlet. And then this is an electronic climate control. Feels so nice after being in the sun for a while. And this is your standard 12-inch display. We'll get back to it in just a second. Steering wheel on the larger side, tilt and telescoping. This is a nice feature, even for the base model. And then we're going to take a look at the instrument cluster as well. Check out the instrument cluster right here. Now this is the lower end trim, so it's going to have a combination of a digital and analog trim. So you can see the analog is the speedometer and the tachometer on the other side, and then everything else is a screen. So essentially you have all your gauges up on top, which is for your oil temperature, transmission temperature, coolant temperature, and the gas gauge right on top of it. This is your main menu, so you can actually set it up the way you want it. And then you can see the settings, audio, phone, navigation. You can see that you have a digital speedometer. You can see which gear you're in. You can see a range at the bottom. All right, and then the vehicle's got 8.3 miles. Now, when you engage a gear, you can see right in here, all 10 gears are going to show up. So there's going to be an indication of which gear you're in. And this is the Ford's 10-speed transmission. Put it in reverse, of course. You have the parking sensors on or off. You can turn that on or off. And of course the camera comes up. We'll get to it in just a second. But that's your instrument cluster. Take a look at the steering wheel. This is what I was using to control this menu function, back, up and down, and OK. That's your phone buttons. That's for your media, essentially. And then on this side you have your dynamic cruise control settings. Then you have your volume and the voice control. Rather large steering wheel, kind of the same as we've seen on the F-150. And let's move on to the standard, which is awesome. This is a standard screen on 2022 Expedition. Now, they also have this really fancy one, which is a 15-inch. It literally takes up this entire area in here. We've seen that on the Mach-E, very similar system. It looks absolutely awesome. So let's take a look at what we have here. This is that Sync 4 system by Ford, and I found it really responsive before. So you see all the shortcuts are at the bottom. Okay, so this is your navigation, favorites, apps. You see right there, you have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto.
Search for your vehicle on your device and select it once it is found.
This is a wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. A huge plus for Ford for doing that. Features, driver's assistance, towing. Let's see what we have. Connection checklist. We've seen that on the F-150 too. Right? Make sure you're all safe and go. Manage trailers. If you had a trailer, you can add that onto here. Driver's assistance. Auto hold, lane keep assist, pre-collision assist, rear view camera, blind spot information system, park aid system, cross traffic alert, cross traffic braking, driver alert, so you know you have all of these features. You can turn them on or off if you don't like them for some reason. As far as the audio, what different sources do we have? AM, FM, Sirius XM, and Bluetooth audio. So those are your sources. And of course you can connect your phone. Nice screen, I like that. Let's move it, put it in reverse. Let's see what the camera looks like. I gotta tell you, this is not gonna do it justice because it has this film that I really don't want to take off because it is gonna be somebody's car, and I want them to have this first experience of taking it off. But decent quality on the camera, and then you can zoom it in if you're towing or something, so you can see where you're at. But it does have this trajectory lines that move with the vehicle, and you know the quality over the screen is not so good, but if you take it off, well, it's better, but it's not, you know, it still could be a little bit crispier. You have the vents on both sides. If you're driving through tolls and you're still using your change, right there, this is good for 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters, and put $1 in here. I don't think you can go through many tolls for $1. But at the bottom here, of course, you have the hazard lights, you have your volume control and the tune control for the radio. You have your different source. You can turn off the screen if you'd like to. I'm not sure why. Oh, because I'm in reverse. There you go. And turn off the screen right there. And let's go down here so you can see you have your regular climate control, dual zone. See? Now I'm adjusting this temperature. This one doesn't change, so if I don't sync it, this is going to be the same. And then what I like about it, even on this XLT, this is the base trim, but it does have this $3,700 package, which I'm going to put on there. Has this 10-way power adjustments on the seat. It does have the heated and ventilated seats. So it's got the fan control right here, heated steering wheel, heated seats, ventilated seats, an awesome feature here in Florida. And then of course your 12-volt outlet, and then this huge console right in the middle here. So you have a wireless charging, but you also have the USB-C and the USB port. You have this dial style gear shifter, and you do have the M mode, which I guess you'd be controlling your gears through here. Yeah, not my cup of tea, but some people might like it. And then this is a 4x4, so you're gonna have some drive modes here. Now we're gonna check it out on the instrument cluster in just a second, but I want to continue with this. You have your cup holders, you have your something holder, maybe a phone holder or something else, and this huge storage compartment right underneath here. There you go. This is where you can put the rest of your change if the one in the front is not enough. So Ford's thinking about everybody. Before we go to the instrument cluster, one thing I just noticed too, there's an additional storage right in here. Plenty of storage then. Now let's go take a look at the instrument cluster so we can check the drive modes. Yeah, let's see what we have. Slippery, normal, eco, sport, nice, sporty, tow haul, mud ruts, sand, and then back to slippery. So several different drive modes. We're gonna go to, actually, let's go to just the normal mode. There you go. We're gonna leave it in the normal mode, see how it drives. 4x4 shift in process, because it shifted to 4x4 before. Now it's back in 2 high, so we don't need the 4x4 in the normal mode. And then let's go up here and check out what we have. This is the console right above here. Now you have your home link system, then you have your lights, and then you have your sunroof. Now this one is equipped with the optional panoramic sunroof. Okay, it's going to give you a lot of light in here. There you go. It opens up. You get this huge glass panel that slides open. Actually, plenty of both air and light coming in here. So I'm going to close that out. We're going to need that. And then, you know, the interior overall, it's very functional. I'm still going to have my complaint about it. I'm still feel that a lot of these features right here and this that could be done with a softer touch plastic. It just feels better. I think it's also better for the acoustic of the vehicle on the inside. It doesn't feel as or sound as hollowy as this. But overall, a very impressive vehicle for the base model. Let's take it for a spin. Okay, so I'm about to take it for a spin. As always, let's check out what other trim levels are available for this 2022 Expedition. Now, what's interesting when you go on the Ford's website, it says, due to a combination of high demand and the global supply chain constraints, not all models and trims or features are available to order. Contact your dealer for available inventory, stock, or feature and availability. So, I mean, that just tells you right there that most likely you're not going to be able to get what you want. But here's the trim levels that are available. XL, STX, the base one starting at $52,620. Then you have XLT, which is the one we're sitting in right now, and that's starting at $56,685. But this is a Max, which is the extended one, so that starts at $58,685. And this one has a few extra features, so it is more expensive. Now the Limited starting at $65,835, and then you get $2,000 if you want to extend it to the Max. Timberline, which is this off-roading, really nice. I've seen it once, really nice feature, and that's at $69,995. Then you have a King wrench in both regular and Max. That's $76,395. $78,335 or $78,335. So it looks like it takes $2,000 to extend it. And then Platinum at 78 or $80,805 for the extended one. So there you go. The price, I mean, it might seem high because it is, but you know, if you compare it with the Wagoneer, let's say, I mean, if you get the Wagoneer Series 1, 2, or 3, the base one is going to be more than this. So, I mean, there's your comparison. I mean, there's two completely different vehicles. The biggest one between this, the GMC, and the Wagoneer is that this is the only one that's available with the V6 engine. The other ones, like the Wagoneers, is either the 5.7 liter, or then you have the 6.4 on the Grand Wagoneer. But this is a 6-cylinder. It does have on paper enough horsepower. Also on paper it says that it goes 0 to 60 in about 5.9 seconds, which is for this size of a vehicle. It weighs over 6,000 pounds. It's really, really good. You know, so right away, what we're gonna do is we're gonna just take it on the road, and we're going through this park here, which is pretty cool. It does have this gravel road, and it's kind of tight in a few places, so we'll see how actually that's gonna perform in turn around in the tight spots. One thing you definitely need to look is that you don't hit, oh, there you go, we're going over some pretty nice bumps in here. Feels good. Awesome. Well, then what we're gonna do is accelerate as we get on the road and see how that feels. Definitely a large vehicle. You know, there's no hiding it, and you have to definitely watch not only the front of this vehicle, but also the sides, especially during cornering. And let's take that on the road. I gotta tell you, this is nice and smooth. I thought I was gonna be working a lot harder than it is to get it up to speed, and it's not. It's really nice. It's smooth delivery of power, no question. You can see the gears changing. So now we're in the 7th gear at 34 miles per hour, which is, you know, I'd probably be in the gear 5 or so maybe, but those are short gears too. Suspension is nice too. It's not overly soft, so it's not an air suspension, but also not very hard and bumpy. And because it's such a long wheelbase, it kind of floats. It's really, really nice. Brake here, there's nobody behind to see if it's gonna dip quite a bit. Nothing too crazy. Tons of cargo room. I mean, really, this one, the MSRP on this particular one is $69,000, so about $70,000. There's not too many vehicles that you can get for that price with this many amenities as on this Expedition, so that's a really good thing. Like I said, the only one thing that I want to see a higher trim level. I know I'm going to get to review the Lincoln Navigator soon, but before we talk about it, let's accelerate here. Should we get on this road? Definitely. Nice and capable. Get it up to 60 miles per hour. There's definitely no shortage of power. It feels good. It does feel a little bit trucky. I think it's the same platform as the F-150, so it is a body on frame. It's not the unibody. It's always going to feel a little bit different than the regular SUVs that are unibody construction, but it's not bad. And you know, one thing that you got to consider too when looking at the SUVs like this is the gas mileage, and this one has an 18 of a combined, so it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you consider the amount of space you're getting, then there's not too many other SUVs that you can get that you get the same kind of gas mileage. And you know, the Ford's coming with the F-150 lighting, and that's going to be an electric one. I wouldn't be surprised if next they're going to electrify the Expedition. That would be an interesting concept though, guys. Well, thanks for watching. You know, I hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out the rest of my channel. Consider subscribing, give me a thumbs up, and turn on that little bell notification so you don't miss any of my videos. Guys, thank you very much for watching once more, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.